I was drinking so much alcohol, never ever fitness. My sleep was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
It was like, if I don't drink, I'm going to die. I was just ego driven, a complete and utter monster in my own head, because it was like I just wanted to destroy myself all the time.
This is it. You and me right here now. So your score.
Jeez, this is so surprising.
Arron Crascall.
How are you doing?
I'm so good.
I'm really excited.
Well, welcome to the energy equation optimized by Pure Sport. This is the only podcast where you get homework. You get given this device. And we spoke beforehand to get you set up with this. And you've been wearing this funky monitor.
I did, since Wednesday last week or Thursday last week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I took it off Sunday morning.
I can't wait to share those results with you. I cannot wait.
I know, I'm excited.
Before we get to those, we've got to frame who you are. I know you. Actually, I've followed you for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not just because you're coming on here.
Thank you.
You've been part of our family makeup for a while.
Oh, amazing.
From when you first started making extraordinary videos, and you were probably one of the earliest content creators.
Literally, one of the first,
Yeah, and now we would define you as a content creator. Would that be the right way?
I think so. I don't even know what I am anymore.
Well, content creator, artist.
I'm an artist, I do paint. I'm a DJ, music artist as well. Making music and... Oh my God! So I make videos. I suppose it is like an art form, really, isn't it?
It is. What would you describe yourself as?
Entertainer.
I love it. The framework of today is to work out where your energy comes from. And to do that, I think it's really interesting to find out where you're starting from. So, a question we always ask our guests is, if we're thinking back over the last 6 weeks minimum, but last few months, and we're thinking of energy as how energized your body feels, whether you're knackered or not, your mental energy, your emotional energy, your spiritual energy, and we sort of smash those together and say 100 is the best it could ever be and 0 is completely dysfunctional. Before I reveal the results of our monitor, where would you place your energy, giving me one number between 0 and 100?
With all of them.
All of them together.
75.
Love it. 75 with 3/4 of the way full.
We are. I think so anyway. Compared to what I was, oh my goodness, you're looking at like 10 before.
And what would the number have been, Arron, 12 months ago?
God, 20.
Really?
Yeah, I was a mess. I like emotional, physical, mentally mess. Just absolute, just hopeless.
Hopeless is a heavy word. And I think, I'm so pleased that we're here.
So am I.
And at 75, which is a real message of hope.
Yeah.
So we move from hopeless to hope.
Yes.
And I think we want to use this time together to try and pull out some of those strands of where that energy's come from, what are the mechanisms to get you there.
Yeah.
But I've also got to share this data piece with you, because I've got a number.
You have got a number.
I've got a number for you. And again, this monitor, so it's a clever heart rate variability monitor. What it's looking at is not, of course, all energies, but it's saying, if we look across areas of fitness, particularly cardiovascular fitness, if we look at your sleep and we look at your management of stress and recovery, then we're going to get an objective biological marker of all of those three, smash those together and we get a score.
My sleep is terrible.
Well, interestingly, maybe not as terrible as you think, but so your score...
66.
66 out of 100, which is not far away.
Fairly good.
Fairly good. Now, fairly good, it feels very saccharine, very middle of the road. I want to dive into that. What that score is made up of is 3 different strands, and you've got 3 separate scores.
Okay.
I'll give you those 3 scores, and then we'll dive into them piece by piece and unpick this, again, energy for you. There is one score on there that sticks out. Can you see your health?
39.
Well, I would say that's interesting.
Oh my God, health effects of physical activity, 100.
Yeah, you've gone straight to your worst score. I would go to, you got 100 out of 100.
For what?
For how physically active you were over the 3 days you wore this, and how impactful that physical activity was on your health.
I spent a day playing my Xbox.
Well, you did, but you also had an outstanding exercise session.
Yeah, gym. Yeah, I do gym now.
You do gym, and I want to dive into that. And we get to see how physically dynamic DJing is.
Yeah, this is what. So I DJed Saturday night with the piece on. I went to the gym Saturday day, and then I went to the gym. I DJed Saturday night from 11 till 12, and my sets are very high energy because I'm a drum and bass DJ. I'm talking like 3 tunes a minute. I'm literally sweating. I can feel my heartbeat going through my body. I'm like a shaking wreck, but I love it. Do you know what I mean? It's very adrenaline based. So after, I'm quite knackered after a drum and bass set.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see if it comes out as like a fitness level.
Oh, well, I'm going to reveal. And
I spoke to all my DJs on the scene, like all my mates who were there that night DJing as well. I spoke to them about it. They're like, "Oh, we can't wait to hear the results."
Amazing. Well, you're going to be the poster boy for DJ Fitness.
Wow. Okay.
And again, exercise in the context of the person, because when we get a score of 100, it's the right dose, right? So it's not. Okay. We don't win with exercise.
I didn't walk very far. I think I did walk a little bit, and then I never do running. I never do cardio at the gym. I always lift weights in the gym.
Yeah.
Because I always got told by Eddie Hall, if you want to lose weight, and the most effective way is to push weights.
Really relevant. And again, it's nice that Eddie Hall, people who don't know, the world's previous strongest man.
Yeah.
That's not a bad coach to be giving you advice.
No, he's definitely a good coach.
Albeit he's got. We had the Stoltman brothers on here, and we have to transition. Often strongman is not particularly healthy. Let's also be clear.
Especially diet, Christ.
Yeah, but that is good advice. So if we take fitness, let's go one step back and say, where does your relationship with fitness sit? How important is that gym to you?
Well, to get into the gym at first, it was so it was based on fear, because I suffer with a lot of social anxiety. So if I'm going out to, if there's a crowd of people outside now, I will make a video and not care.
Yes.
If I have to go to a gym, I'm a nervous wreck.
That's so interesting.
It is so strange, and I have no idea what it is, but I've overcome it because I sat in my car for like 15 minutes. Like, don't be a dick. Sorry for swearing. Don't be a dick. Just get out your car and go to the gym. And it took me about half an hour to build up the strength to get into that gym in the first place. And it was just such a stupid. I'm the most confident guy in the world. Well, I thought I was, and
that was gym specific. That wasn't a small group. It was very much that environment.
I'm good with anything. I'm good with anything like that.
Well, for people who haven't seen your videos, you are the opposite of social anxiety.
Oh God,
because you
it fears me.
Well, my daughter loves your videos because they show no fear.
Yeah,
you will do something outrageous or ludicrous in a public setting.
Absolutely, scream on a tube, sing, dance. I don't care.
Wear whatever it is.
I don't care.
But the gym itself.
Oh my God, it was terrifying.
And could you think why that would have been?
Not knowing what to do, not knowing who's going to be in there, or people watching me, or it's not nothing to do with the fact that people might film me or something because I'm this popular guy or whatever. I don't really look at myself like that, so it had nothing to do with that. I think it was just like the unknown.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And having a goal in my head that I really want to do this, but then it's like, what if I fail? I've got a lot of anxiety, fear-based stuff. So it's part of my addiction, I suppose.
It's a great example. There is a well-known phrase called gym intimidation. Have you heard that before?
That's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of people listening to that who hear it. And of course, now a lot of your content is created within the gyms.
Yeah.
So it feels like the gym has gone.
It's like a second home now.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Was there a moment where that changed?
I met someone in there. Who? So I've got a guy called Rishma. He's like a little uni student, and he was like, "Can you spot me on this machine?" I was like, "Yeah." I took my headphones out because I have my headphones in.
Yeah.
So I just want to go into like no one talk to me.
Yeah. Game mode.
I don't come across like that, but he's like, "Can you spot me?" And we started talking, got each other's numbers, and then we train together now. It's like, I love it.
That's amazing.
It's
just a genuine workout buddy.
Yeah, then he's got friends in there who come over and speak to us while we're training, and I've got new friends in there now. It's like, it is lovely. Do you know what I mean? And when I leave the gym, because I'm starting to notice a change in my body, like my arms, my chest. I'm starting to, when I stand still, I can see shape coming.
Yes.
Which I'm so happy about. But there's obviously stuff I'm finding about myself, like I've got fat underneath my chest and on the right hand side and left hand side of my chest. Underneath my pecs or whatever you want to call them.
I definitely call them pecs.
And it's hard to I've looked into it, but they're not shifting, and it's really starting to, when I put a tight t-shirt on or I put a t-shirt on, because I've finally got the confidence to do it. I can see the fat. I can feel the muscle here, but I can see the fat under it. It's starting to get on starting to really affect my confidence.
Okay.
So I'm looking into maybe a bit, because I've been fat all my life, right? I'm going to say I've been fat since I was 10.
And were you aware you were overweight?
Oh God, all the time. Yeah. I always covered up with massive. I still wear hoodies now. I could wear a t-shirt now, but
yes,
I just feel better in a hoodie, and I love the winter months because I can dress how I want to dress. I don't have to dress. I'm 42 years old and I still get anxiety about dressing.
That's normal. There's lots of people who have that.
Yeah.
But I think what's amazing, we've got to also think where you've come from, right? So what are we talking in terms of weight loss? Because when I look back at those earlier videos, you were definitely
15 stone 5 to 13.4 now.
So again, you're 2 stone.
I was 12
now.
stone 10.
So that's 14 kilograms for anyone, who's in the metric. These are big changes. That's a huge
I feel
shift.
amazing. Like my stomach was so bloated. It had not just the front, but it was like sticking out the sides as well.
Yeah.
Because I was just eating like a maniac. Like, because my anxiety was based on hangovers, not drinking, and not being able to drink gave me anxiety because I needed that drink to get rid of the anxiety. So then it was like, if I had a big meal, or a curry or a Chinese or something like that, it kind of took the edge off.
Yeah.
But it made me feel full and good. But then it was sluggish and horrible, and then I'd feel crap, and I'd look in the mirror and go, oh my God, look at the state of you. And it was just a constant snowball effect all the time.
Yes.
Then I'd get well, and then it would be like, okay, I'm going to eat an avocado today. And then I wouldn't have carbs like bread. And I'd be like, oh my God, I feel like this because I'm not eating bread. It was like all in my mind.
Yes.
So I'd rush to get a loaf of bread, like rip the loaf open and just eat 2 slices of bread with no butter on, and go, oh. And it was like, I don't know what was happening. I'm still coming to terms with what I was going through, because I was in such a mess for the last, 8 years bad.
Amazing.
Last 2 years, I don't even know how my life.
Yeah.
Like, I was drinking so much alcohol, doing other things as well. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it, but it's in the social scene.
Yeah.
People know what it is.
Yes.
I was doing that as well on top. Never ever fitness. My sleep was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
And I was just living day to day. Like, I was literally living day to day. And it was like, if I don't drink, I'm going to die.
And in the sort of spectrum, because I want to talk about your relationship with alcohol when we come to stress, because that sits at the heart of it.
I thought it took it away, but it didn't.
Well, that's what lots of people think,
Yeah.
and that's how it's marketed, right? So that's not
Gotcha.
that's not a natural. Where did fitness sit in the change? Was it
running to the pub when it was closing? That's the only fitness I kind of got. Probably my heart. The way I'll probably be playing a fruit machine, and my heart would think I'm in a fucking fitness regime, because it was thumping that bad. I remember getting home, sleeping, and I could feel my chest go. And it was just that was normal behaviour. The adrenaline for making videos in the daytime was really, really good, but then the adrenaline stopped kind of falling. My dopamine levels, I've looked into all this now, so my dopamine levels with what I do for a living had dropped. So I could make a video now, edit it now in this room, upload it, and see 1 million views in an hour and go, yay, brilliant. That was it.
Doesn't mean it.
Doesn't mean nothing anymore, because it's my job. I now look at it as my main income and my main job. When before I looked at my career as, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm blessed. Just thousands and thousands of pounds, gambling, drinking, casinos, seeing my mates, meals. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because I was just ego driven, a complete and utter monster in my own head, because it was like I just wanted to destroy myself all the time.
So again, it's so great to see you here.
I feel good to be here.
Oh, and I think, again, where you've used these different tools to change yourself to a guy sitting here with a self-reported energy of 75, who's 14 kilograms, 2 stone less, and is fit, right? So I want to add to a piece of this data that we've got here that I also ran a test of your cardio-respiratory fitness. And I would like you to have a result above about 32, 33. That would be an adequate level of aerobic or cardiovascular fitness.
How did you get this?
So I captured this through a combination of you doing a little bit of walking with this device on, and then I used something called seismocardiography, which is a clever way of capturing how strong your heartbeat is. And from that, I can work out how much oxygen it can pump per pump.
That's
so
insane.
It's fancy and cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, the reality of that is, I've got a clinically accurate measurement of this fitness marker.
Is it proper accurate?
Proper accurate. So if you go and do the lab test, that might have 7% variance. This will have about 9%. So it's short of you slogging yourself in a laboratory.
Oh my God.
It's brilliant. Now, that test has told me something really interesting, that your result is above 32. I would love your result to be 40, and your result was 41.5. So I'm objectively
I don't
telling
understand how.
Well, I think that becomes relevant in terms of the first part of that result is it's milliliters of oxygen per kilogram.
And I smoke as well. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to lie. I actually smoke.
Yes.
Not weed or anything. Because I don't do substances because I can't change the way I feel.
Yes.
Because it's all about my program and what I'm doing now.
Yep.
But I do smoke a roll up.
Yep.
I'm talking maybe 15 a day.
Yep.
And because for me, it releases. When I tried stopping drinking.
Yes.
I was vaping at the time.
Yeah.
Vapes. I was vaping excessively because when I stopped drinking it, I was a mess for the first couple of months. Like because it's hard.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely change your life, and it's hard. And they say the best thing about stopping drinking is getting your feelings back.
Yeah.
The worst thing about stopping drinking is getting your feelings back. So it's hard to deal with life without knowing how to get rid of that.
Yeah.
So I was vaping excessively and then coughing up this crap in the mornings. It was like a flavored glue. I was coughing up. Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
So then I went back to cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then I smoke a really light tobacco, which is yellow. I use filters, and I smoke really, really thin roll ups, and not big fat ones, and it kind of takes the edge off of how I am. Like, but this is really interesting because I thought I was really unhealthy.
Well, and we've got to be careful that that's not a health check, right? So
no,
and
I'm not going to take it on the chin and go, yeah,
I can smoke, and roll is good for you. You're always looking at what's less unhealthy, right? So if someone goes from smoking a strong tobacco to a less strong tobacco, that's a progress. Vaping isn't good for you, but it's better than smoking.
I'm praying to stop smoking, so it will happen eventually.
But you've focused this year on changing your relationship with alcohol, increasing your relationship with fitness. Those are huge wins. So this isn't about being perfect. This is about progress, and there's huge progress here. So the question with that fitness result would be, what would it be if you didn't smoke? Of course, it'd be higher, right? Because that smoke binds to a bit of the oxygen traveling around your bloodstream. It limits you, but equally, you plus smoking equals a good fitness result. Now, that fitness result becomes slightly relevant when we look at the 2 exercise sessions we caught. Now, you probably thought you only gave me 1 exercise session.
I did.
But you can tell your DJ mates that's not entirely true. So I got 2 exercise sessions. The first one was when you went to the gym.
Yes.
And you performed resistance training, which is the type of training that Eddie Hall shouts out.
Bench pressing and doing a bit of shoulder work and arms.
Love it. So, and as Eddie rightly says, probably the best way to influence body shape and weight loss is resistance training. That's absolutely true for reasons that we won't dive into now. But what I'm interested in is if your weight training is either, quite intense or almost circuit style, we get what we see here, which is we get a cardiovascular session embedded within the weight session. So your heart rate range there between 109 and 156 beats per minute. And you classified as a mid-level cardiovascular exercise session. So you weren't physically running on a treadmill, you weren't riding a bike, but the intensity of your resistance training meant you did improve your cardio-respiratory fitness. Now, that was the second best exercise session you got of the day. Because if we look at the result there, we can say you got, again, 2.5 out of 5 in terms of how much effort you got. Then someone pops along for his DJ set. Now, there your heart rate. You're kidding me. This is a message to all DJs out there. If, again, it's dynamic enough, your body believes it's exercising. You had
nearly 1,000 calories.
You had 883 calories burnt over a 2-hour window, with your heart rate going between 127 at baseline, 151 at top end.
That just shows how much of a good DJ I am.
I can't vouch for that. But what I can tell you is you're a high energy DJ.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Now that would have benefited enormously from, and I assume you're relatively dynamic in that situation. You're not sat down, you're stood up.
Oh God.
You're giving it, yeah, I can feel it. So what we get there is you actually had a double session that day, and targeted a little bit of cardio earlier in the day, but that DJing was outstanding. And when we look at sleep, that will of course be the reason why you couldn't fall asleep off the back of that, because you trained effectively a cardio session. That's a mix of adrenaline, that's a mix of anticipation, that's a mix of excitement. But what that will have contributed to is good cardio-respiratory fitness.
Wow.
It's absolutely superb. So, you've done 2 things. So first of all, you're doing activity even with your weight training that's targeting your cardio. So I love that. Plus you're doing DJing frequently, which is like a cardio session.
Gyms every other day.
Which is amazing. And you've lost 14 kilograms. So your heart has to deliver to 14 less mouths, which means there's more for everyone. So I can sit here and go, I haven't got a huge incentive for you to do more cardio. And you scoring 100 out of 100 is indicative of the fact your training quality looks good. Your, again, activity levels are sufficient.
Yeah.
So if it isn't broken, don't fix it. Keep going.
Wow.
Now, what would that look like if you didn't smoke? I'd love it. But
we can come back.
We can come back. And it's one piece at a time. So I want to move on to the other areas because I don't want to just sit here praising your magnificence for the whole hour. Well, we can do that as well.
No.
Because I want to get bits that might be more usable to you. But I think there you've got to say, am I fit? Yeah, you are fit.
Wow.
And you've come on a hell of a journey.
I'm going to have a Chinese.
Well, that again is not what I was hoping.
I'm joking. I couldn't eat that again. It destroys me after.
But you'll also know that your relationship with activity has been a catalyst for improved eating. It would feel
my
like.
diabetes is reversed. Like,
well, that's an important phrase where lots of people would be saying, "What?" So you had type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years, which is amazing. So that is a condition where you cannot stop the glucose in your blood rising up too high. So your body's basically lost the ability to stop sugar in the blood going too high. Yet lots of people thought that was a one-way ticket. But what we're now seeing is people can put that disease into remission.
Absolutely.
And what you've done over this last, again, certainly 12 months in particular, alongside the weight loss, is you've changed your relationship with carbohydrate. That's fair to say.
Yeah, literally. I have a piece. So every single morning without fail, I eat one avocado with one slice of wheat and rye toast. So wheat and rye, I wore a Libra for 6 months, and wheat and rye.
So just say Libra is a continuous glucose monitor.
Yes,
that tracks what your blood sugar's doing.
You'll see a lot of people wearing them,
and there's lots of companies.
Since I put one on, I noticed a lot of it, and you can always get the little nods. Yeah, little nods.
The blood sugar crew.
Some people wear them for fitness.
Yeah,
and just to monitor what they're eating.
Totally.
I used it to. I wanted to reverse. I was sick of my diabetes because I was in a hopeless relationship with alcohol. Clearly, I stopped the. I had no will to live anymore. So I thought, look, if I keep drinking and drinking, I'm just going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So it was it was like a way out for me.
Yeah.
It was so strange. I love being alive now.
Yes.
I didn't back then.
Yeah.
But I put this Libra on to monitor what I was eating because what I thought I was doing okay.
Yes.
It was terrible. So I would have a big bowl of couscous with a steak.
Yeah.
And then a bit of veg on the side. The couscous would like boost me to 19 when my blood should have been, I think it was like 6 to 8.
Ideally, yeah. So that's a significant elevation of blood glucose.
God.
Yeah.
White rice was even like a bit plain basmati rice.
Yes.
Which we've always been told it's great for you.
Yeah.
Eat white boiled rice or whatever. Mate, it was horrendous.
So amazing.
I instantly stopped couscous. Instantly stopped wholemeal bread because that used to spike me, and then I found rice, and then I found. I was looking through everything, all these different types of bread. I was doing sourdough. I was doing like whole grain with nuts and olive bread. I was trying everything because I love bread, right?
Yes.
And then it was like I found wheat and rye, and it didn't really spike me.
That's brilliant.
But then I was using spread.
Yep.
But now I use real salted butter.
Yes.
And then that doesn't spike me anymore. So now every morning I have one whole avocado with Celtic sea salt smeared all over it.
Delicious.
Powdered. Beautiful. Probably a couple of boiled eggs. Like this morning I had 2 sausages and 1 avocado and 2 eggs.
Outstanding. So you've basically dropped those refined carbohydrates. And lots of those foods are technically healthy.
Okay.
Yeah. So avocados, they're quite high calorie.
Yes.
They're full of, again, a different form of fats that is broadly beneficial to human physiology.
Can you put on weight with avocados?
You can put on weight from anything that has too many calories in it. So the great nutritional debate that rages in our time is weight just the volume of calories you eat versus the volume of calories you burn, or is the particular format of the calories make a big impact? And we would be rowing at the top levels of nutrition before we solve that debate. But the reality is you can still eat too many calories from healthy foods, but it's much less likely. Because those foods naturally promote a bit more of a feeling of satiety and feeling full. So it's rare someone has truly overeaten on whole foods, particularly vegetables, including avocado. So I'm loving that breakfast. But I think from a thematic point of view, you've reduced processed food. You've gone to more.
Oh my God, I was having fried breakfast, Chinese, Indians.
Yeah.
I was getting Just Eat 3 times a day.
Amazing.
Because I couldn't get off the sofa.
Yeah.
So I was well enough to drink again.
And again, this was a guy who was at 20 at tops, energy-wise that year ago. And now we've got a really, a fitness level that puts you in the good category. We've got you, coming to an absolutely spot-on body composition. So I think we can box fitness and go, you've done the hard work there. You've done the diet to support that. That's outstanding. And then let's segue over to another topic, which is stress.
Yes.
Because stress, you didn't score 100 out of 100. You scored a very reasonable, but not ideal, 58 out of 100.
Okay.
If I say the word stress to you, what does that, do you feel you cope well with stress? What does stress look like to you?
I deal better with it now because I'm quite spiritual. So I live my life how God wants me to live it now. When before, if someone would beep their car horn at me, I'd probably jump out my car and go crazy. But now I've got arrogance and dishonesty in my life, so I've treated people like that before, so I don't let it bother me. Stress for me is now probably to do with my videos, work related. I get a lot of self where it's like, oh man, why am I not getting invited to that place? Why are they that really causes me stress out, and I start, oh God, I do get very angry.
Yes. Supplements can be a complete and utter waste of time if you're not living a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Too many times I see people viewing supplements as a quick fix solution, whether that's for sleep, recovery, or performance. You might as well be throwing your money away if you think that's going to work. It's in the name. It's supplemental to your lifestyle choices. But if you are living a balanced lifestyle, adding the right supplements can absolutely optimize your life. Having spent the last 25 years around some of the highest functioning individuals on the planet, I've come to learn exactly what to look for when choosing the right supplements. Pure Sport have curated an uncomplicated approach to this. No additives, no sugars, no fillers, just simple, effective, honest, and informed sport certified. That's why I use them. And that's why they're trusted by so many elite athletes and teams worldwide. If you're in it for the long run, visit puresport.co and use the code EE10 for 10% off. So there's two pieces there. So the first piece is this spiritual bit. Is that giving you a broader sense of it doesn't matter because...
Yes.
Yeah, and can you apply that to real-time situations?
Yes, absolutely.
So I've
done it 3 times today coming in.
Okay, coming into London, you need to probably 100 times on the way home.
Yeah.
So you can pass that across. Is that prayer or is that just a general sense?
I prayed in the toilet before coming here.
Before you saw me?
Yeah. I honestly did. I did. I literally went to the toilet, had a wee, and then I had a little prayer in the mirror.
I love it.
Because whatever I will be done, not mine. So,
and does that bring instant calm?
Instant. 100%. My self-will. If I go on my own for 3 days, I'll drink again.
Yeah.
100%. My self-will will take over. My self-will was crazy.
Yeah.
I need to now live a spiritual life because if I don't, I am going to die.
Okay. Really powerful.
100%. I know that now. It's kept me sober. It's kept me alive.
And where in the sobriety journey did that faith happen? Was it
November
a catalyst
5th.
for it? So as you decided... So you've shared with me before, November the 5th was the day.
My sobriety date.
That was the sobriety date.
I went to pick up a bottle and something told me not to.
Okay.
And put it down and get help. And then I put my arms out and said, please help me.
Wow.
And I was in the co-op.
And that was...
I was in the co-op.
And prior to that, you'd had no faith, no...
Oh, I prayed for a heart attack because I was too scared to commit suicide.
Okay.
That's the kind of faith I had.
Arron.
I'd go to a church on a christening or a wedding.
Yeah.
And now it's like, when I see a church open, I get the same buzz as when I used to drink. Because I went in for a prayer. Like, it is just...
So it's a Christian faith.
Yeah, I'm going to try... I'm starting an Alpha course at the church in January, and then I'm going to get baptised as well.
Absolutely brilliant.
Honestly, I don't care what anyone thinks. Like, my faith has saved. Whatever happened to me that day, it was something like, so basically my fellowship is built on a higher power.
Yeah.
So basically whatever happened to me that day, it was something bigger than me.
Yes.
That's what I believe in. And I totally believe it was either, you're supposed to have like kind of one higher power, but I've got three, my dad, Jesus and God.
Yeah.
I totally believe so. Whatever happened to me that day, you know when you think, I'm never drinking again. Oh, I'm never drinking again.
Yes.
I must have said that about 15 million times. I did addiction therapy, addiction counselling, hypnotherapy, normal counselling. I did everything to stop drinking. But the problem is I never knew that it was my self-will.
Yes.
I had no power. I am powerless to alcohol. If I have one, I could have one bottle of beer this big, right?
Yep.
And I have no idea when that's going to end.
Yeah.
Because I've got an allergy to alcohol and it changes the way I feel instantly. And the power, I would have that drink now. I would go from here home on a train with no alcohol and I'd be like this. Because the power of craving is too much.
Yes.
And my kids go out the window. My missus goes out the window. I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
All I care about is that next drink.
Yep.
And I've never known anything like it in my life. And I've never had a craving to any, I mean, you can say, oh, I crave fish and chips on a Friday. Yeah, well, this craving I had, I cannot put into words how crazy and how desperate it makes you. Like, and again, if you have a drink now, I know you could probably put it down and go, I'm going to see my kids tonight. I can't wait to see my kids and have dinner with my wife. Yeah. Mate, I couldn't care less about them. Yeah. And towards the end, my addict was telling me, leave them.
Wow.
Leave your family, please leave them because they're better off without you.
Yes.
You've done too much to them. They're better off without you. I was sitting, I'd be sitting around a dinner table on a Sunday because I used to make up excuses because I knew that my missus was literally to the point of no return.
Yeah.
And it was just getting to the point where, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah. Because
it's going to finish anyway. I was waiting for the locks to be changed every time I put my key in the door. I was like, oh, bonus. It was that bad.
Wow.
I'd make up excuses like I'd ring her dad and say, do you fancy having dinner on a Sunday? And he'd be like, yeah, of course. I know that her dad likes a few beers. Yeah. So I could have a couple of beers with him.
Yes.
I'd have 2 drinks because I'm driving my car. I'm driving my car, babe. Don't worry about it. I'm driving my car. I'm only have 2 Guinness or whatever. And I remember I could sit there looking at my family going, fucking hurry up and eat your fucking dinner. I'm like this. Yeah. And they're talking to me. I'm like, what? Like, because I can't hear them.
Yep.
Because this power over me is like, you need to fucking drink now. You need to fucking get out of here. It was that bad.
It's such an important description, though, Arron,
oh
because
God.
Because people who haven't had that addiction, and it's one of the major reasons that, and I know, alongside higher power, faith, you're also invested in, again, community. Because you're again enrolled in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, because you almost need that person who does understand what you're talking about. A lot of people are going, I've never felt that urge, and I think there's a lack of empathy towards it, perhaps. But that community brings you that.
Yep. I thought I was the only person doing this to myself. Yeah. Drinking a bottle of gin a day, hiding drinks in my house, lying to my missus, having all these mental episodes where I didn't know what was going on and a drink would take it away. As soon as I walked into a room with 30 other people the same as me, it went away. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, this is it for me. I was sat in that room, my first meeting, I was a blubbering mess, and I don't really remember much, but I remember, so basically the premises of an AA meeting is someone from the district, Kent or surrounding areas, comes down, does a 20-minute chair.
Yep.
Then you all get 5 minutes around to share your experience on what they've just said.
Yep.
Every single person in that room was talking. I was going, they're me. You're me. And it felt like it was a bunch of actors put on for me. I couldn't believe that I was in a room with other people the same as me.
Yes.
And mate, it was like, my name's Arron, I'm an alcoholic. And it was like, oh my God, this weight off my shoulders. Going home, and I remember sitting on the sofa with my miss after my first meeting and just bawling into her saying, I'm so sorry, because I couldn't believe what I'd done. I couldn't believe all the stuff I'd done and how much I was just hiding it all from my following. I remember making videos and like, yes, guys, how you doing? New video coming at 5. Come on, give it a like, and then put my phone and go,
oh, amazing.
It was fucking terrible.
Yeah. And there'll be a lot of people who do similar.
Oh my God, 100%. Yeah. Mate, this industry's fucked with it. There's no negatives to it whatsoever.
To the giving up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
None.
No.
But then sometimes I miss the fucking carnage.
But to admit that is the reality, and it's crucial.
Mate, it's horrendous.
But that's also why that community is there. And again,
God.
And we've got we got this at 75 energy out of 100 as you're reporting it.
Yeah.
We want to go to the next level.
I'd love to, yeah.
But I think that is such a really important story, Arron, and you've shared it, with incredible.
It's honestly, mate, I would have lied to you before.
Well, and that in itself is energizing, and I think in there you've got, when we look at energy from emotional connection, you've got it with family, who again I'm sure are over the moon with this new version of you.
I'm a dad and a husband again.
I cannot imagine the joy that's bringing to everyone. Then you've got the physical energy through the fitness and the diet. You've got the spiritual energy through faith and again the ability to draw on a higher power. You are a bit of a textbook here, pal.
Yeah.
Very good.
Don't make me cry.
I'm not going to make you cry, but I'm very pleased with you. And I think there's a lot of people, and sometimes you need one of those building blocks. Yeah.
Like even today now, I'd have been here half an hour before. I'd have scoped out 3 pubs in the area. So I would have done a lap of this, wherever we are now.
Yes.
I just got out the car and come straight in.
Yes.
But before, I'd have got here half an hour before.
Yeah.
I would have done a walk around the area. I'd have seen 2 pubs or 3 pubs, one what I really liked. And then I'd have been sat here going, fucking hurry up. I'd have been in my head going, come on, man.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like clock watching and stuff. And I'm thinking, mate, please. Because I know I'm going to go directly there.
Yes.
Straight away after.
Yeah.
Lied to my missus that I've got 2 other meetings to attend.
Yes.
So I'm not going to be home till 10 anyway.
Yeah.
Mate, just got on it.
It's a huge change.
Oh,
and
God.
And again, that doesn't mean you're now stress free.
Oh, no.
So we look at these results. This is you plus being fitter, plus being, 11
I've got to
months.
ask one thing.
Tell me.
Right. So on the Friday, I spent a lot of time playing my Xbox, and we play, and it was with 3 of my friends, and we play Warzone, which is quite high, intense, talking, shouting, "No, Robbie," like, and you're getting towards the final circle and all this sort of stuff. So, is it quite high intense?
It's a really good question. So, on that's your stress and recovery schematic from Friday. At 11 o'clock, you're actually in a state of physiological calm. So you're quite chilled out. Not so in this evening session. So
Friday evening.
I
was at a meeting.
Oh, interesting.
From 6 until 9.
Yeah, so that's your second highest stress peak of the day. Now that stress...
My meetings are quite calm.
Yeah, well, what's interesting about stress is that doesn't mean you're stressed. It means you're anticipating. You're switched on. So in that scenario,
good.
When we look at physiological stress, it's not, am I being attacked by a bear? It's am I hating this?
Would that be like that?
You'd be off. The chart would be off the Richter scale. Yeah. What we're seeing here is you are very engaged, very switched on. So red on the graph,
brilliant.
Which represents stress, is not unhealthy. What we're really looking for is there enough green, which represents periods of recovery and restoration.
Not there, no.
And there's not that much across the few days noted. And where you say, when you're playing online gaming, it's not necessarily a high stress situation, but it won't induce physiological calm.
No.
So it's not going to restore you, and it's a bit like it's a distraction from stress, but it may not be a stress relief.
So maybe I need to take up meditation.
Yeah, well, meditation is, and lots of people use prayer as meditation or meditate as prayer. So that's a really strong area. I think something that takes you away from technology and brings you into a sense of being in the present moment normally moves you green. Interestingly, you weren't that physically active outside of the training sessions and the DJing, where again your DJ fitness is crucial. But I think you going for sort of wanderers, a sort of aimless wander outside would have meant there was more recovery captured across these 3 days that you wore this thing. So I can't say that your gaming is stressful, but what I can say is your gaming isn't relaxing.
It's definitely not.
No. And not everything needs to be, right?
So what's the blues?
The blues where it thinks you're either physically active or you're so stressed it thinks you're physically active.
Jeez.
So that would fit with that gaming session in the afternoon.
God, I've got to sort it out.
Now, if you're then, why ask whether you're active when you're DJing? When your heart rate's racing and you're in that sort of adrenalized flow state,
high.
That's great when you're moving. That's not great if you're sedentary. So your body doesn't like to have all those adrenalizing feelings and sit on a couch or be on a beanbag. So if that was a capture of the gaming in the afternoon, that would potentially over time be a negative thing. Why that's also relevant is how close it is to the period where you go to sleep. We'll come to sleep next, because your sleep's not that bad, and it's working alongside other areas to prop you up. I think also, from a stress and recovery point of view, as I mentioned, that's not too bad. Your score would be better if there was more condensed blocks of recovery during the course of the day.
I need to.
And you had more low intensity cardio exercise. Now, in this new version of yourself, if you had a particularly intense block of time and you felt a bit wound up, what would be your release valve?
Probably a drive. Probably go for a drive.
Okay, so that is a great way. If that drive was a walk in nature, that would be outstanding.
I need to do that.
I think what's also interesting.
I'm lazy, mate.
What? You're not lazy.
No, it
doesn't say you're lazy.
I really was.
You're not lazy. You've got good fitness. You're more active than most people. So don't give yourself that banner. It's not fair. I feel like
I've got a chilled life now. When I had carnage before.
Well, that compared to where you were.
Oh Jesus! If I'd have had this on for a week, man, you'd have been like, "Fucking hell, you're not dead."
Well, we'd have probably had an off-camera conversation. What I wonder on those 3 days is whether you did any artwork. And any time, because for those who don't know, you have a studio. Where does your art sit in the sort of decompression?
Oh, the music's on, man. I walk in, lock the doors, the music's on, and I'm just me. It was carnage before. It was horrible because I used it as I can't drink today. I've got to go in there and get it all on canvas. Okay.
And
now it's just like.
And have you noticed the actual art itself change?
Oh, it's colourful now. It's really strange. I'll get you a piece, man.
Oh, fast. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've followed it online. I love it. That sort of graffiti-esque style. It's bursts of colours. It's stunning work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really very cool.
I went down to Brighton on. Can you have a look at? I got to Brighton at 10.
On which day?
Friday morning.
Friday mid-morning. There's again between that 10-12 period. There's nice recovery.
That's driving.
Okay, so driving often for people is that period, a bit like getting on a plane where there's nothing else you can do.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, that's what. 8 a.m. Anticipation.
8 a.m. I was rushing a bit.
Yep.
Had to pick up my mate by 1:15. And it was quite stressy in the house because it was school run.
School runs always shows up on here.
Yeah. School run, I think it was Thursday morning, was horrendous.
Yeah.
So maybe I was a bit stressed then as well.
And again, these aren't bad things. I think what I'm interested in is where the art plays a crucial piece in down regulating your stress and keeping you energized. I'm so fascinated that the style of art has changed.
Yeah.
And when you're in the art, are you in the moment? Is that your meditation?
Absolutely in the moment.
Well, then that's going to be a huge piece of this, right? So you don't have to meditate to meditate. You need to be in that moment. What you mentioned something earlier about, being worried about what was going to happen in the future or being drawn on previous experiences.
Yeah.
It's very synonymous with being well if we can live in the moment.
I've been told. Yeah.
And art.
This very moment right now.
Spot on.
Nothing about leaving here in a minute or nothing, just nothing.
Yes.
Just right this second.
This is it. You and me right here now.
Yeah.
And art is a vehicle for you to do that. And I think, again, if I'm looking at your toolkit, the fitness, the diet, the spirituality, the stronger emotional relationships, the artwork, you are genuinely building a bit of a portfolio of what it looks like to create more energy. So I love the art being in there. I really
fantastic.
do.
I do as well, yeah.
Which is great. So from a stress point of view, we've got the art that, again, if we add in a bit more non-game based.
I know exactly what I'm just very, I'm lazy when I think I've got ADHD as well because a lot of things take over my mind when I'm just about to go and do something and then something else crop up and I'm doing this and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? Yes. I'm supposed to be doing that. Oh my God, I've forgotten that. Like it's like a filing cabinet every day in my brain.
Yes.
So again, it's undiagnosed. I've kind of lived my life off it, I think, especially with my videos and stuff. I'm crazy.
It's been probably harnessed, and we had Tom Stoltman who talked about his neurodivergence as being his superpower because it enabled him to do to become the world's strongest man. We're looking with you that if there is a trait in that area, it might have led to you being a fantastic content creator. But to manage it does require again some additional habits and behaviors.
Yes,
I think again finding ability to lock in routines around being away from technology in particular.
I just love gaming, but I know it is just wasting time.
Yeah,
well, I do love it.
It's not wasting time. It is a block of time.
But I could be out for a walk, a creative walk,
and you can do both. Right, one is not mutually exclusive of the other. There's that fundamental.
Oh, what are you doing here?
Oh, see, adding here, so I have to practice what I preach. I'm adding some electrolytes to my drink.
Okay.
Because I'm an avid sauna user, Aaron.
So what would that do if I had that now?
It depends whether you've broken a sweat today or not. Have you done it? So
No, absolutely not.
So generally, if you do regular exercise and you sweat, or you're in a hot climate, you'll lose a bit of potassium, you'll lose a bit of sodium. You can do with a bit more magnesium.
I've had Celtic sea salt today, like all over my breakfast.
That'll top up. This is basically a way of guaranteeing that you're optimally hydrated. This is the business. This is a raspberry one, and I honestly love it. So I can give you one as well if you want.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. It's got no sugar in, no.
No sugar in. And again, the crucial piece for you.
Is it the kind of like stuff you have when you got diarrhea?
No, that is very different. That is Diarrhite.
Diarrhite, yeah. I used to have 2 of them when I was hungover.
That's trying to replenish some of the electrolytes you lose. So there is a component.
2 of them in a pint glass in the morning. It used to be brand new. I used to always have, and that was bad. That must have been full of glucose. Like,
oh, do you know what? I'd need to check. I don't know, but I certainly wouldn't advise Diarrhite
breakfast
as a preventive strategy. So a Mackie D's and a Diarrhite is not what we're selling here. What we are
avocado and a bit of Celtic sea salt.
Celtic sea salt and avocado. It's it's very quality sort of middle class fodder.
Yeah,
but extremely nourishing, and you've seen it control your glucose. So I think from a stress point of view, you've got an incredible range of things that could go in. If there's less gaming, a bit more.
Yeah, I know.
A little bit more time outdoors. Lean into
to do it.
Yeah, but also this narrative of laziness. Just catch
just
that,
an hour
Aaron.
walking. Maybe just do the score and then go down for 40 minutes on the beach. I've got a beach, for God's sake.
Then you've genuinely got no excuse. And again, the benefit of that, which might tie into our next point, which is sleep. Which is sleep was okay. Let's cover sleep. So sleep gave us a score of.
We're talking 11:30 till 12:30. That is the time I go to bed. Every single night.
And let's not start with that, because that may not be a problem, right? Do you wake up restored?
No, shit. Oh, absolutely horrendous.
Then we'll definitely start with that. So your score here, 39 out of 100. Right. What do you think is the biggest challenge with your sleep?
Just going up to bed. Just go to bed.
Just that inertia.
Because kids go to bed, she goes to bed. I can watch a bit of telly. I can do a bit of gaming. So it's my time. That's what I look at it as. Very selfish.
There'll be millions of dads and mums around the country going, I get that.
Yes.
I get that. And not just those people who haven't had their own energy restoration, and then they try and steal it back in those later hours.
But then I've got to remember that when I do go to bed, it takes me at least half hour, 40 minutes to go to sleep.
Always been the case?
Always been the case.
Okay.
Yeah, always been the case.
I mean, when we look at your sleep, the biggest problem we've got with your sleep isn't actually the quality of the sleep. Now, your biggest issue, as recorded by the 3 days we measured, which is a snapshot, it's not you all the time, was just the volume. Your actual sleep architecture, as in the quality of it, the different stages, doesn't look like it's a problem. And I guarantee your removal of alcohol will have been transformative. God, yeah. I mean,
Oh God,
that's alcohol and sleep fragmentation, as we call it.
I thought I was sleeping, but I definitely wasn't.
Exactly. So you passed out with alcohol.
I was passed out.
Yeah. So what we've got here is what looks like a good sleep cycle. There's just not enough of it.
Yeah.
So you can't. You've got to be a pretty special physiological specimen to really restore enough energy, particularly when you're active, on 6.5 or less hours sleep.
Yeah.
And no matter how good your behaviors are, that's a hard catch up to play.
I know. And I'm knackered, man. I don't know why I don't just go to bed.
And I think that comes down also to habit, right? So
absolutely.
There's one of those things where can we build in some of that self time earlier in the day? If you can say, look, I need to game, right? If you love online gaming, then it
is good for the mind.
It can be great and great social
socializing. Yeah,
it's massive.
I don't socialize anymore.
So can we find a time to do it that isn't in those witching hours? That's the reality. Go, look, guys, I can do, and it might be a cost to time at family, family time. If you take 45 minutes, an hour out of the time the family's awake, but you're more energized.
She'd never let me.
Well, that's a discussion. We can shout out to the Crascall family and say,
no, it's
but
cool.
The reality is, it better to have 1 hour of you going deliberately and doing that, and then going to bed together, waking up. And sometimes you've got to put them on a piece of paper and go, is that an option?
But she goes to bed at 9, and that's way too early for me.
Well, we're seeing a lot of people doing that, because the world is exhausting and sleep isn't just time between being awake.
She does so much. You know what I mean?
And I think if you 9 o'clock might be a stretch, but bringing your bedtime
easily to 10.
I think whatever is likely to be doable ongoing.
And leave my phone downstairs.
Well, you've said it before. Now, interestingly, that was the only night where you go into recovery before you go to bed. So I can see on the other nights your brain is whirring, because if your brain's whirring, your body's whirring.
Yeah.
Just before.
Was this Thursday night?
That was the original. That was the Thursday night. The second
Friday
night
come off. I remember.
Yeah, and then DJ night.
It was red in there.
Yeah, DJ night is you're still wired from that show, and that hyper-adrenalized state. You're just gonna have to suck that up. That's the way it goes. Yep. If I gave you an intense exercise
tired. I remember
session,
being in bed at like 3 a.m. I think it was 3 a.m.
Yeah,
I was so tired.
Do you have any techniques if you do finish late night DJing?
Just go to bed. Just put your head on the pillow, put your phone down.
Interesting. So that again would require for you to go from hyper-adrenalized. Bear in mind, your heart rate there was 156 beats per minute. You burnt nearly 900 calories.
Jesus.
That's a heavy exercise session. You can't then expect all of your body's physiology to quickly then turn itself off. It's too much of a gear change.
Yep.
So in that scenario, we might find people having a bath. People use cold. Have you ever done anything?
Never. Oh man, I see these cold plunges. It's insane.
Everyone's
do
gone
it?
for it. I do it, but only in a social setting.
Okay.
Because I find it too uncomfortable.
Is it horrible? Is it?
Some people love it. It's very strong in terms of the developing understanding for improving mental health, but that was probably more of a morning thing.
I think it would give me anxiety to do it.
Well, if you buy the tub and then you don't do it, that gives you anxiety.
Yes.
So, I think you have to work out, will I do this? But the reality is going into cold is a very good way of calming your physiology down. So it's an option. Other option would be, again, a shower, change of clothes, a real, using things like lavender, shower gels that say, I'm no longer in the DJ booth, I'm back home with the family. Yes. So scent is a really powerful marker for that. Something that convinces your body to cool down. Because in many ways, what you've done is you've accelerated your physiology, you've heated up, and sleep requires cool. If you ever, again, notice your kids in the night, their skin feels a little cooler. Our core temperature drops by a degree during the night. So anything that blocks that gets in the way. So, and you may find it's better to go to bed half an hour, 45 minutes later and let that temperature come down and go into a better quality sleep than, as you say, go to sleep here straight away knackered and then be sort of regularly, frequently waking up.
Yeah.
That's
what I was doing, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Why was I regularly waking up?
Because your body's just wired. It's still part DJing.
That's crazy.
But we've also got to bear in mind, Arron, because the other nights are okay, that's fine. No one suffers from one bad night's sleep. This is what we do most often. So unless you're doing DJing 6 days a week, I think we can put that as a footnote rather than a headline.
Yeah.
But I think for you
so interesting
to create some way of bringing sleep forward and getting that extra hour. If we want to take that 75 energy 100%. Score, and I want to take my 66, and we both want to hit into the 80s, that is the lowest hanging fruit. And I think it's one way, again, this is not a need to do, but you're building this beautiful series of actions and behaviors that I think, again, is getting absolutely in the right direction. Also, you are not lazy. These are not bad behaviors. Everyone out there is going to be feeling versions of this. I absolutely promise you. It's a case of saying, can I embed a new habit at a reasonable level? And if you went to bed 45 minutes, an hour earlier with your technology detachment earlier in the day, then that's a huge win from today.
Yeah.
Absolutely is.
It's crazy.
So when we look at Arron Crascall, I'm so pleased that what you've done this last 11 months.
This is so surprising.
And we got to celebrate progress, right?
With an avocado.
Let's have a Celtic salt avocado. A couple of sausages thrown in.
Yes.
But, the reality is, you have become fit. You've got a good. Arron, you train 3 times a week, pal.
Yeah.
Don't. The 30% of the UK does less than 30 minutes of exercise a week. Right. So let's not compare you to perfect. I know you create a lot of content with some.
If I put in half an hour walk in a day as well on the beach.
Oh, we would be rocking. But you are fit and you've got good relationship with physical activity. I love it. And what we've seen is your cardio.
My heart's good, do you think?
That's impossible to tell from this.
Okay.
But we didn't pick up what we might call an arrhythmia. But this isn't a heart health check. So, when we've got someone who is smoking, who's had type 2 diabetes, albeit in remission, and has had excessive body weight, then checking out the health of your heart is well worthwhile doing as an adjunct to this.
How do I do that?
I can tell you all about that offline.
Okay, fantastic.
Because there's no one test that tells you your heart's healthy. But if we're sitting here, we would love to know your blood pressure is good, not just normal. And we'd love to know that some of the circulating risk factors like cholesterol, which would work alongside the glucose.
Yeah, they told me that's a normal level now.
Super. So again, you're fit. Your sleeping is pretty good, but just give it more space to operate.
I need to, I know that, yeah.
Your stress management, you're a bit of a poster boy in terms of everything from faith to art to family, but just a little more of a detachment from technology.
Yes.
And a little bit more of a boundary around when that timing comes in.
Absolutely, mate.
But Arron, I think
a wake-up call, isn't it?
Yeah, but you've given a lot of people, I think, a wake-up call, and how you talk about, your addiction, how you talk about sobriety, the opportunity.
I have to be honest now, because I want to help others.
I think you're helping people enormously, not just in the humor and the joy you bring through your videos, but this story I think is so powerful, and you share it so eloquently and so honestly that
thank you.
I hugely appreciate you coming on to have. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Top man.